Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and this is the review of the Japanese psychological horror mystery Exit 8, which is based on a 2023 video game that I had no clue that this movie was based on a video game until after I walked out of it. I had no idea that this was a video game adaptation, but nonetheless, that probably helped me out in my viewing of this film. This was a film that I wasn't, seeking out to watch. It just randomly something that I knew about, and it piqued my curiosity, and I wanted to watch it, but I had the attitude of, when I catch it, I catch it. When it comes on television, I'll probably catch it then. But, as life dictates, I had time. And and I decided, okay, I'm going to go check this out. Being as though it released in the United States on April the 10th, I said, well, I'll check it out opening weekend. I enjoyed this movie. I don't know how the video game plays out. I would assume it's pretty accurate in its adaptation, but it is a really good movie. Dare I say great. It borderlines great. This movie has a simple premise. Simple. You're lost in the subway. Okay. You keep going around and around. It seems like you can't get out. Every now and then you get a little creepy noises happening. You occasionally pass one or two people. It's like, okay, this is really, really disturbing. Me and my anxiety, the first time I turned the corner and realized that I was back in the same hall that I just walked out of, I would have curled into a ball in the corner and just wept for until somebody came and found me. There's no way I would have went through what our lead character goes through in this film. So needless to say, this movie had a big impact on me and my anxiety. I was anxious watching it. I started sweating. I was like, there's no way out of this. There is no way out of this situation. And I was freaking out, even though he wasn't completely freaking out, even though he had some freak out moments, rightfully so. The movie does a good job of just jumping right in with our lead. We know pretty much everything we need to know about him in the first 5 minutes, and what he's going through mentally and physically as well. And the rest of the movie just plays off of that. What I enjoyed about the film, aside from the creepy psychological elements of it, was the way this film was shot. It was no wasted scenes. There was no wasted moments. It's a movie where you as a viewer, you have to pay attention to everything that's going on. It's as if you're playing the game. Now, I researched the game after I left, after the viewing of this movie, and from what I can tell, without playing it, but from what I can tell, this is a very, very accurate adaptation of that game. And it feels like you're in this movie. You're a part of this game. You're a part of this film. It's you. At portions, the film is shot in like a POV version, whereas you're walking through the corridors of this subway station, and it just feels claustrophobic. It feels tense. It was perfectly directed. I'm telling you now, this is a movie you shouldn't sleep on, even if you never played the game like me. Yeah, I never played the game. Even if you're not a fan of horror, psychological horror, or whatever the case is, this is a movie to check out just for film. If you love film, this is a great film. I'm honestly floored on how good this movie is, and worried that this movie is going to go under the radar, just like it almost went under the radar for me, for a lot of people, that don't even know about this movie. They have no idea what this movie is and no desire to go see it. I would highly recommend, if you're able, to go see this movie. This film grossed $5.2 billion in Japan. Now that's in Japan money. Now I don't know the difference, but the difference between Japan and U.S. dollars, but that's still a nice chunk of change. I would think it was a high grossing film there, and they supported it. Of course, it's their film. It's a Japanese horror film, but I hope that Americans see this movie, find a way to see this movie, because aside from the horror of it all, I'm telling you, it's telling a very compelling story with our lead that translates over to us. It's universal. It's yes, the film is in Japanese. Yes, there are subtitles. All that is true, but it is still easy to follow. I understood everything that was going on in this movie, even without reading. I found myself. Now, granted, it isn't a lot of dialogue in the movie, but I found myself not even looking at the subtitle because at one point I got it. No, I can't speak Japanese, but at one point I got it. It just clicked. Something about this movie clicked, and it was just beautifully done. Of course, I'm not getting into spoilers and all that. I'm dancing around it, but I'm telling you, I'm willing to put my head on the chopping block. You will enjoy this film, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. Exit 8 gets a letter grade of an A. Yeah, there's not one flaw in this movie. There's nothing about this film that I sat back and said, oh, well, they could have kept that scene. Nah, that didn't work for me. It was none of that. None of that. I was truly locked in from the first frame to the last. And what more can you ask for from a film? I would like to know, did you ever play the Exit 8 game, or do you plan to see the Exit 8 movie, or have you not heard of either one of these movies? Like I say, I didn't hear the game. I knew about the movie, didn't know about the game, but I would like to know your thoughts. Email the show at kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also search for the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, don't forget about YouTube. Subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars and the reviews and sharing this show if you're listening at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to the concession stand here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me for this review of Exit 8. Want you all to know that I love you, continue to love everyone, and until we speak again, you all be blessed.